Okay, man, I blew that one. I was trying to use my phone at the same time. And that didn't work out too well. Sorry about that, guys. Well, that was pretty lame. All right, well, they probably left because they're like, oh, he just left. There we go. Right on. I guess we'll just work on the bike till everybody comes. If anybody comes. Shoot, Bradley. I think I missed Bradley. I missed a few of you guys. Maybe we should play a little music while we're sitting here. What do you think? Sorry, you guys, who I lost there. Jacob. Gosh. Oh. All right. Let's see. Well, we're learning something while we're alone here, I guess. If you're there, you can say hello. I see two people. Hello there. I'm still trying to figure this out. If you were just here, I bailed on you, and I apologize. Now I forgot what I was doing. All right. Well, hey, if anyone's listening to me, I'm going to be heading up to Orcas Island again. I don't know if you watch my videos about building the mandala home, the big timber home up there. And I'm a carpenter, so I go do stuff like that. I get called all the time for different jobs, and it just depends on if I'm in the right spot for it. I always feel like it, but sometimes I'm not in the right place at the right time, you know. But most of the time I am. Wow, what a day on YouTube, man. Killer. Okay, what? I was doing something important. I was trying to find out. Oh, yeah. How to answer these. I don't know if that means there's two people listening to me or there's just two people were here. I guess two people were here. Um, all right. Well, we're just gonna hanging out here in sunny Southern California. Get some music going. Hey, that's what we should do. Get some music going. Together here. All right. Well, it's Sunday night and everybody's probably eating dinner. I'm on a totally different schedule. Obviously, I live by myself and I just eat when I feel like my body needs to eat. But hey, I'm going to read some messages from some people I got while I'm sitting here. Hello, all one of you. How you doing? Don't be afraid. Come and ask questions. Come and talk to me. Oh, hey. Hey, it's Bart here. Looking forward to chatting. I will be joining. Let's see. Cool. Bartio is going to be here in a minute. Bartomeo, he's taking a shower right now. He did some landscaping today. And he's in Muggy, Pennsylvania. Man, do I know that. Hey, Bartio, I know you're not there. But I went back east to help my dad build a garage on his property a couple years ago during July. This time of year, biggest mistake I ever made. It was humid and man, it was gnarly. Spiders. Anyway. Yeah. What do we do? Just fire one up while we're waiting for everybody? Wouldn't that be funny? Let's fire one up. Whatever that means. Hey, congratulations, Darren. You just something on YouTube. Huh, interesting. I'm getting notifications as I'm talking to you. So I was up to 799 subscribers this morning, and then I lost 3. It went down to 796 and 7, and then back up to 8, and then back up to, and so I figured out that happens. That's kind of normal. Then now I'm up over the 803, I think. Whew, man, and a lot of views. I'm surprised people watch my stuff, but I'm into it. Maybe that's why I have fun doing this. If it was 20 years ago and I was chasing around my kids and working up on the glacier or climbing, I wouldn't have been into it. But I like doing it now, and I expend enough energy during the day getting, survival mode that I need a little break. And I like doing the videos because I can talk to people. Even if it's all one of you right now, I mean, it's like having a million of you, It's one of you, a bunch of zeros after that. Anyway. But I know you're watching me, so come on, ask me some questions. I might have to leave for a minute. I don't want to leave you sitting here alone, though. Let's play some music. Hey, everybody. Sorry. I'm sitting here reading messages. It's a busy day on this. Hey, Jeff. What's happening? How are you? Thanks for coming over. I think you're the only guy here. Hey, yeah, I'm just sitting here in hot, muggy, smoggy California, Southern California. And, I went for a ride. It's hard to ride here. Right on, man. Where are you at these days, if you don't mind me asking? I'm sorry I got to look so close at the computer. This isn't working. Every time I try to read my chat feed on here, it shows my face on here. Anyway, I'm a rookie, but we'll figure it all out. Oh, PA, right on. That's where got another guy getting on here pretty soon, Bartio Mio, and he's near Doylestown where my dad lives. My dad's in Doylestown. I don't know if you're over in that side, or if you're over in the eastern side or not. It's been brutally hot, yeah. So I don't know if you heard me say I came back there a couple Julys ago and built a garage for my dad, and I got sick. I mean, I actually got heat stroke, and I was sick as a dog. And Pittsburgh, okay, he's got this big house. It's built when he was a kid, stone place, really beautiful, but he doesn't have air conditioning in there. He doesn't really, where he lives in the basement, he doesn't need it. But I was staying upstairs and I was dying. And his brother, really cool, my uncle, he goes, "Hey, I'm going to bring you an air conditioner to put in your window of your bedroom." And my dad's like, "You don't need that." And he brought it anyway and stuck it in my window, saved my life. And my dad would come in the middle of the night and unplug it, because, and I'd say, "Don't ever do that again." Anyway, two different people. And, but my dad, he realized, "Oh, God, Darren's building me this garage in the heat. Okay, I guess he needs to be cool." But I'll never go back there again this time of year. I just can't do it. I'm from out here. I'm a dry guy. I like the dry heat, But, yeah, man, right on. So I don't know if you subscribed. I might as well ask you because this channel's new, kind of. I just started paying attention to it about a month ago. And, I'm biking a lot, and that's what I put on here a lot. And I'm a storyteller anyway by nature. And I was a guide. So I tell stories, and I talk to people. And so this went into story stuff. And then all of a sudden, people like the stories and the bike stuff too. So I'm trying to provide both. But if there's something missing for you here, man, just tell me. Because, and I'm going to ask everybody that tonight and every night, just like, "Hey, what's missing?" And, and it may be obvious what's missing. A lot of it's just better sound, which is going to improve here pretty shortly. And just better, like as I'm traveling, I'm not going to use the GoPro anymore as much. I'll be using something different. I have more subscribers now, and I've actually even had some offers for little cameras and stuff that I haven't even been able to pay attention to yet. So I'm going to take them up on those little camera deals and try them all out. I'll try anything they want to send to me, except the powder drinks. They've been trying to send me powder drinks and power bars and stuff, and I haven't. Yeah. Can only have so many links on here, So yeah, Jeff, all right. There's somebody else on here, but you're the only one talking to me. Right on, man. You've been loving the stories. Oh, really? Sierra's Shasta, right on. When you do, hey, I'm always telling people, of course, you got to be careful who you invite into your life, but I'm into talking to people, and when you're going to come out, let me know. I might be close enough to rendezvous, and at some point on here, I will rendezvous with a few people and do something, as a group. But, a lot of my subscribers are like me, they're kind of loners, but I'm a people person too. I have to have a balance. As a guide for all those years, I had a balance. I had to be around a lot of people all the time. And I had to run off and sneak off by myself and get my meditation time and, sneak behind a tree and do whatever I got to do to, stay sane. But anyway. Hey, Bruce. Did you mention climbing stories? Did I? Yeah, I have. But you know what? I need to mention more, don't I? That was my whole life. I think that's what you mean. You know what happened, Bruce, is like I started doing all this biking and videos and stuff. And then I was incorporating some of my mountaineering and glacier travel, all this stuff in Alaska and in all Nepal, whatever. And so I am kind of slowly bringing out more of that because I know that people have asked, and also people have seen my stuff and they go, "Hey, I've been there," like Ruth Glacier, where I worked for so long, and which is in Alaska. And the Ruth Glacier on Denali was that's where I started. And I was just a kid. I got a permit there when I was 20 to take people on the glacier, not on Denali. That was a different permit. There's only 5 of those, but there was a number of permits that in that area, concessions like I had. Now they're really limited, but I did that. And that's how I got into it. That's how I started it. And people say, "Oh, no one's going to want to go up to a glacier and look around." my friends, and all of a sudden it was like that was the big deal. In Alaska, you see it on TV all the time, and all that. See, I got Jeff, I got Bruce, Bart, Bart. Good evening, man. Yeah, no worries, Bart. Hey, that pizza place you went to, Bart, today, or you showed the video. If I'm not mistaken, you're coming past the courthouse. You go down, it gets flat, and on the left there's the drive-through liquor store and a little strip mall in there, and that's a pizza place. I used to go in there and get that big New York greasy pizza, sneak it into my dad's because they don't eat anything at all. They don't even eat. So I would sneak it in, and like they're a little more on the health food side, which I am too. But I have to sneak around that oily pizza, man. That was the best, man. Alaska, the dream. Yeah, it was. Lived a lot of years there. Sometime I was talking to another subscriber and a guy who's got a great channel, and he's in Alaska right now. And yeah, I miss Alaska when I was looking at his videos and stuff. Pizza Village, that's got to be the place. New York style pizza. I mean, I guess it all is back there. And they make sandwiches and calzones, and the drinks are on the right-hand side of the bar or the register. At least they used to be. Right on. Hey, Bartomeo. It's so hard to say that. You've got a great channel too. Making the great music for us, our cyclists. And playlist. That's what I'm going to get from you before this next trip. Get that playlist and some good videos you're putting out. Good. Right on, man. Alaska. So Alaska was my dream for many years. I went there when I was 19 actually, just about 19. I went to Outward Bound in Colorado for a semester right out of high school. My girlfriend broke up with me, and I was like, I don't want to be in this little town around all these people. So I took off, went to Outward Bound, and changed my life, and almost quit in the middle of it, but was talked back into staying, and that's what built me, not that I'm a successful, like entrepreneur of any sort, but it built who I am, and hopefully I've left that with other people, some of the younger guides that I worked with. So yeah, that's been my life. I love Alaska so much, but I don't miss the short season. Pretty soon here, people are going to be going, hey, I'm going back to school, or I got to leave. And it's just like, sure, you got to get up there and make your money and, do it quick. The only way I could do it is just stay for the winter, and then pound nails all winter and brutal. It put a lot of years on me, but I think the cycling and also just being around young people helped balance that a little bit. I'm having my evening coffee because when I went to Colombia and lived there for a year, that's what everybody does. It's like 4:00 in the afternoon. It's coffee. Not everybody, but many, many. Right on. Yeah, we love your music, man. Whoa. International Alpine School. El Dorado Springs. I remember that. Jeff Lowe's school. I'm an old schooler. I remember all those. Wow. International Alpine School. Jeff Lowe's. God, I hadn't heard of that in years. Very cool. Now they have the American Alpine Institute up in Bellingham, Washington. I used to have worked with many of the guys and stuff. But back when I started climbing, that was there, and there were certifications, and they were certifying everybody. And American Mountain Guides Association became a thing, and I never joined it or anything, but it became such a thing. And now, like, they just certify guides and just put them out like hotcakes, which to me is scary. But I'm old school. You don't get a real guide unless you get one that's just been through the shithole, and you can go to school and learn it all at school. But until you've learned it in the bare bones, it really doesn't jive yet. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, a lot of those people get in accidents and kill people and save people's lives too. But I mean, a certified guide to me is somebody who's been through the shit. And and I'm glad you guys did that back in the day with Jeff Lowe, man. That is so cool. Wow, very neat. I forgot what time I said I was doing this live. I think it's on time. But what happened is I said it, and this thing scheduled it for me. I didn't even schedule it. It just scheduled it for me. Unless I'm crazy, that happened. Anyway, you got to be careful with YouTube. It makes you, you know, makes you show up to all your appointments. That's cool, though. What do we got here? 6 people. Hey, everybody. Where are you? Hey, if you're just listening to me and you just got here, I've been asking these guys to give me some feedback. I went into story time because, I started as a cyclist kind of site, sort of traveling, all over. And then it's whatever I'm doing at the time, which has been biking and some climbing and stuff. But the story time had just kind of evolved. It kind of just came out. And a lot of people like it, but I don't want to leave behind anything important. I know I've got more to do in the bicycle realm and also just like some of my gear stuff. It's been so hot, I don't want to come outside and spread it out. But I'm heading up to Washington for a few weeks to do a little project, Orcas Island. I don't know if you've heard of that. Real close to Bellingham, off the coast. And I'll be out there again on the Mandala home, this big timber home that I built with one other guy from Alaska. And we have a crane operator. So we're going to be doing some stuff up there, and I'm also going to be tripping around Orcas Island. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be good to go up and cool off before I actually head south. I'll be heading south in the fall and getting back into South America stuff and whatever. But I'm not promising where I'm going because I don't know where I'm going to end up. I know Mexico first. I'm going to go down and get some new teeth worked on, and which eventually I'll have done in Colombia. But I'm having a lot of the preliminary stuff done in Mexico. I'm kind of afraid to go to Mexico, really, but it depends on where you're going. All right, go jump that. Oh yeah, go jump in the shower, Bartio, Mio, Bart man. Thanks for coming over. I do carpentry for a living. Okay. Yeah, it's in one of my videos. I can't remember which one. Dang it. But I'll post a new one. If you go back a few videos, it's in there. But it wasn't about the house. Yeah, I've got a bunch of video right now that's unedited, and then I'm going to go back up on this next one. I'll throw it all together. And what this is, so Jeff, what this thing is, it's called a mandala home. You can look it up. They come out of BC, British Columbia. They shipped it down to us. This was for a guy who had no money, and it's $1 million freaking home. And it was given to him by a Microsoft engineer. We built it. He's going to be leaving again, so they want us to come up and finish up some of the panels down on the lower section. But it's built. It's an octadecagon. It's 18 sides. It's 18-sided. So the panels were like 6 feet by some of them were 8 feet, and we had 14-foot panels for the upper floor. And it was weird. I didn't drive one nail on that job. If I did, I don't remember it. It might have been over here just to stick a piece of string in something. Everything was timber screws, all timber screws, and then screws, various screws. My name is Darren. Yeah, you'll be blown away. Like, I don't really, I do little projects and stuff, but I really like to go to the big fun stuff. And I've been invited on some incredible projects in the last, ever since I quit Alaska, my life just like, everything unfolded because I was just like, oh, Alaska was the routine. And I never really gave anyone an opportunity to hire me or bring me to their projects. So I've been able to go to South America, Aruba, all over the States to build stuff for people. And the way they do it, the way it happens for me, and I always tell people when I get there, I'm not driving anywhere. So I just like to have everything there. And anything needs to be brought there, then I need that one guy to be available. And it's usually the person I'm doing the job for. I'll go get it. I'll do it. I'll go get. And so, because I'm not the contractor guy that's driving around sitting in my truck on the phone, because I don't have to drum up the next job. I'm out there and I'm just fully committed to the project. Usually I'm housed and they feed me, like this Orcas Island one. They feed us and, and accommodations, and it's, we're on the island. And so there's really nowhere to stay anyway. There's hotels real expensive and stuff, but we're on site 24/7. I usually do like 6/12s, take one day off, go venture around the island a little bit, and do some filming, and then get back on job, get it done. I want to get it done and get finished, and a good job. So that's how I operate. And I'm a project carpenter. A lot of us Alaskans are project carpenters, and we'll go work somewhere and then get it done and work every day if we have to, but stay healthy, take enough time off to, stay healthy. That's how I'm able to do bike trips and all, Otherwise, if I just got into that routine again, I'd be stuck in it, which is okay. I like that sometimes. I mean, sometimes that's what we need, right? Is got to get in there and, have, be assured, okay, next month this is what's coming. But my life right now isn't so much like that. I don't know what next month is going to be like. But the reason I can do that is for living like that for so many years and having the faith that, something's going to develop. Because the other thing I tell people, I hope I'm not preaching too much here, but people ask me like questions like, well, how do I do that? Or in a way, that's what I always say. I can't just sit and wait for things to come. If I sat here and waited, for the next job or the next opportunity or, the next viewers, I'd be screwed. Nothing happens without that momentum. I turn these wheels here, and I guarantee you every time, even if I just go out for a day ride and I get back, there's messages and there's things. But if I sit and wait for the plant to grow, it just doesn't really grow, It's afraid to, it's go, don't watch me grow. So that's the way I believe it works. And so I just let it grow and let it go. And it seems to work, and it doesn't always work. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, my life is perfect and everything is just great. It's, for the most part, better if I don't focus on a lot of the crap, a lot of the negativity. That's how I keep turning the wheels, So, no, it's good. Sorry, I can't see very well with these stupid glasses like last time. So I hope to live like that someday. For now, Karen. Yeah. Okay. So I'm there too, in a way. With that, you are the man. God bless you, brother. That's something that I'm available for at any moment. And I do it actually as I'm home. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't know really how to put that one, but that comes first, the bike and the adventures and the YouTube. If my family needs me, I'm right there. I've got 2 daughters. They're doing great right now. My mom's doing good, but everybody needs each other, so I'm not into abandoning my family or anything. It comes first before all this YouTube stuff. That's the other thing, is I'm making these videos. I'm making a video and like somebody might come by and they feel like, oh no, I'm going to interrupt him. I don't want people to feel like that. Hey, come on over and get in the video. But usually I'm alone anyway. I don't want it to disrupt my life, and so, and also I want to be able to give, like people came on here. You guys like are spending your precious time watching my videos. And I do that. I watch people's videos and it's my precious time, and I feel that way about you guys. Like, hey, you guys, people are actually listening to me talk, so that's a special thing. And if I'm going to talk, I want to give something back, not just a bunch of, I don't want to whine. I have another channel and I started finding myself on there just kind of like the whiny guy and I was following other people's depression. So I erased a few of those videos. I was like, that's not me, So Anyway, I don't want to go down the dark roads, where they're there anyway. And like you're taking care of your mom, it's a beautiful thing. And it takes, it takes a lot of commitment and energy and heart, and that's a emotional state. It takes a lot of energy out of you. But it's a beautiful thing to be there, Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I know where I was going with that. Is just the glacier. I wrote a book called Transcending. It's on the. I don't push the book very much, but I will say, transcending is something I use. It's just in there. I use the glacier, my glacier travel, like crossing the glacier, the crevasses that are underneath you, underneath the snow, and I'm like, I got a person roped up to me, a client or a friend, and their lives are in my hands, or I'm just traveling across alone. I don't want to fall in those dark places. They can take you down, and you have to visit those places enough to remember those are the tools. But that's about all I use it for. I don't go in. And somebody was saying the other day, oh, so and so, is so depressed, and now I'm depressed. I'm in there with them, and I go, well, you got to help. You can help somebody, You can lend them a hand. It's like somebody's in boiling water. You're going to lend them a hand and get them out, right? But are you going to get in the boiling water? That's not going to help anybody. So that's part of the whole thing, man. Help who you can. But you can't jump in the crevasse, that dark place, So anyway, hey, let's talk about something positive and fun. I'm still drinking my coffee. Anyway, yeah, always open. I'll try to do more climbing stuff. And thanks for that question. Now, here's another thing about this feed, this live feed. I got off my live the other night and I couldn't read it. And I tried to figure it out today. So hopefully I can read this. I think I pushed the right button. I'll be able to read this after and thank you guys, and I'll subscribe to you or see who you are, I can see your channel and stuff. But yesterday I couldn't get in there to go see my people except Bart. Bart was on my super chat. That's the only reason I knew he was there. But all the rest of the people were just lost. So I felt really crummy about that. No, that's good. I hope. Yeah, right on, man. All right, 8 people on there now. Hey, if you just got here, we're just hanging out, chit-chatting. I've been telling everybody to add something. If I haven't been providing something you like or you need something different. Now, I am sticking with, bicycle stuff, adventure stuff, camping, hiking, and story time. That kind of thing, if it's got anything to do with that. Colombia, since I spent a year there, I haven't shared those stories really that much yet. I don't think as many are interested in it, but if I really told the main stories, you probably would be, some of that stuff you don't want to share with people. But I find that, someone mentioned to me the other day, oh man, aren't you worried about giving AI all your information, your whole life on video? And I was like, man, don't you have any faith? Faith in what? Well, faith. Don't you have any everyone is just, seems like there's so many people that are so negative. And, AI, I had a Tibetan Lama tell me once, and he was like in his 90s. He was a friend of mine. I'm not Buddhist, but I spent years around him. And he said, and I saw him using a cell phone, I'm like, Tibetan Buddhist Lama using a cell phone? What? And I asked his main attendant, I go, is that normal that for a Buddhist Tibetan, and oh yeah, he goes, they play in the joys and the sorrows of, all this drastic, thing that's going on. Now, this might be getting a little weird for you, but hang in there. So basically the outlook is, if you're afraid, if you're just constantly scared of AI and what's going on, then I'm probably going to lose subscribers over this, but then you don't have any faith in anything. I'm not talking about any certain God or anything, but if you think that it's just emptiness and there's nothing left after, well, then why would you be afraid of AI? I wouldn't be afraid of anything, and play in the game carefully, right? Playing the game carefully is what he told me. you know. So that's what I do. I'm using it as I'm playing with it. And so, people get mad at me when I say that, but I ask them, well, what are you doing? And then no one can really answer me. So anyway, hey, we're just talking about camping and climbing and hiking and biking and whatever we're going to do. Hey, I'm going up to, if you got here recently, I'm heading up to Orcas Island. I'll be making a good video up there, not just about what I'm doing in the project, but also some interesting little mystery stories. And I camp out up there. Actually, I don't have to. But we like to, me and my good friend Richie from Alaska, we like to sit around a campfire and, pop open a drink or something and tell stories. And so I'm going to tell some good ones there, but they're going to be Orcas Island. And one of them is like right behind where we're going to be at on Orcas Island. And Richie says, we're going to tell that story one. Okay. So get ready for Orcas Island. It's going to be in about 2 weeks. I'm going up. And until then, we'll be out here, doing stuff in the desert. It's interesting stuff here too, but it's real hot. I don't feel like riding in this, So I'll get out for an early ride, early in the morning when all the meth heads are still out, like reeling around on the road and stuff. It's crazy. This is a crazy place down here. I made a video about the bike trail that I take everywhere. If you go out here after 7:00 at night, I don't know where you are, if it's like this. I hope not. But here's not bad right here in this little neighborhood. But if you just head on down to the store at like after 7, I'll be on my bike, and they'll go, hey, don't leave your bike out there. Like I can see the bike. I'm just going 2 feet away from it. And the guy's like, oh, don't leave your bike, man. And then there's all sorts of people walking around and holy mackerel. I've been around a lot of that, in certain towns and stuff. But I notice it's gotten worse here. I'm a cyclist. I'm cycling through all these funky little towns. And the one thing, the Eastern Sierra, if you guys like the Sierras, man, if you haven't been biking out on the Eastern Sierra, next time you get to California, plan your trip on the Eastern Sierra. And the thing about the Eastern Sierra, Highway 395, is if you don't want to do a section of it, you can catch these great people at Eastern Sierra Transit Association, and they're the only ones, and they do the route nonstop. They got buses all day going back, and they're nice buses. It's not Greyhound. These are like airporter type things. And there's PCT hikers, Pacific Crest Trail. There's campers and fishermen, and everybody's out recreating, right? And you always got riffraff, right? You're always gonna have riffraff. But you go on the other side, Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield, all that, you guys, unless you live there and you know that already, you live here, don't ever tour over there. I'm saying don't ever do it. Don't ever do it unless you like that kind of stuff. But the coast is okay. Do the coast once. Everybody's got to do that once, I think. And you got coffee shops and bike shops, everything on the coast. I did that once, and I was like, I want more rugged. I want something to test me a little more. So Cascade Sierra has been my go-to. I'm like the Cascade Sierra guy. I'm sure there's somebody that does it more than me, but I don't know anyone. So if you know anyone that does it a lot, my favorite sections are between Mount Hood and Warm Springs Canyon. You don't go down in there. You cut across and go to Detroit Lake. Places like Bend, all the way down 97, there's offshoots. And then Mount Shasta. And then 89's rugged with logging trucks, but I like that route all the way down. And I'm with logging trucks, man, I got it down, even though they still scare the shit out of me and they almost kill me every time. I got down a system, and I think it works for me. So I've told people about it. They come in waves. 2 to 3, 4 logging trucks at a time. So you kind of learn that. All right. Well, we got 7 people here. And I think I'm learning about chat as people will just listen to me talk, and I don't mind talking. And then I'll look for a question every so often, and I guess that's how you do it. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking too much, but I don't want to just sit here and look at the screen. So it's almost like making a video. So a little more laid back, though. The videos, YouTube, you got to get it all in 5 minutes. And I try not to do that. As you'll notice, I'm not 5 minute videos. They're shorter, but I'll make sure they're finished and I'll put the time into them. And I'm not into dragging everybody along, like, wait for the end. I naturally ramble, so I don't have to do that. So you can always fast forward through my rambling, but sometimes you might miss something. But nothing's planned that way. I don't. I see people on YouTube; they have like a strategy to push out the thing till the end, and I don't like that. So a lot of times I won't subscribe to somebody like that. So that's not what we're doing over here at Tectonic Traveler. And we're not about money and advertisement, although as soon as somebody offers me something to advertise, I'll put it on there if I believe in it and if I believe it's helping you guys. That's how I'll do it. I won't do it any other way. So too bad you can't edit out your wet armpits in here. All right. Right on. Yeah, I mean, shoot, Jeff, I could talk about the Sierras forever. Like that's where I grew up, as a kid. I talk about that Eastern Sierra. My first trip was with my uncle. I have a video I made about it, and there was there was an epic thing that happened on that trip. A missing girl that ended up never being found, and there is an article that says she was found, whatever, she wasn't. And I've had a really long and full life already, and I can comfortably say I don't want to die tomorrow, Like nobody, I don't think anyone really does. But man, it's just been it's been hard. It's been shitty. It's been great. There's times I didn't think I'd make it, especially in Colombia. I didn't think honestly, I'll make that video someday, but I didn't think that I would be sitting here ever again in the States. I was down in Colombia during that thing that happened, where you had to do this and be 8 feet apart, 10 feet apart. And I had to do that, which, okay, I'm not complaining or whatever, but let's see. I will go back and see what I missed in that live stream. Hey, you missed this part, Bardio. That live feed from last time when you guys were here, I wanted to go in there and see who was there because I wanted to go thank people and all that kind of stuff, but the feed was gone. It was empty. So I'm hoping this feed's available after, so I can actually go in here and see who was visiting and all that kind of stuff, because that's what I like to do. And yeah, couldn't see it. It was a bummer. I could see you because you were my super chat. Thank you for that. That was, like I was telling people, I'm not here for those super chats or donations. When I'm traveling, I may advertise saying, hey, if you want to donate to my cause, or then I might do that every so often because it does help. But in advertising things on here, I was telling them, Bart, I'm going to advertise some things that I believe in. I already do, like I pop on that Wi-Fi roam thing because I love that thing. So they're getting a lot of advertisement from me. And then there's some people that have approached me to have some things that they're supposed to send me, like some power bars and stuff, but I don't know what they're like yet. And I'm going to try them out. If I like them, then I'll put them on here and I'll put the links in the description. And I did have a water company, like a water electrolyte thing that I was involved with before all this YouTube stuff. And I just contacted them to see if they wanted to, they're not really offering me any deals. I just was in part of their investment thing. So anyway, some of those things don't work out too well. Anyway, 11 people. Hello, everybody. Bruce, Bart, Jeff, Apache. All right. I always get a little bit loud when somebody new comes on. Sorry. Hey, man. Good to see you here. Right on. Apache. Yeah, another one of my loyal subscribers, man. I always remember people because I see their comments and stuff. But I love everybody who comes here, even if you don't comment. I appreciate that you subscribe to the channel, because what you're seeing or witnessing is something in raw form. And people are telling me, don't always be yourself, man. And I will. The only things that'll get different are, the footage is going to be better. I'll be traveling, and things like that will get better. The format will improve, and it always does with YouTube people. Uh, but I'm going to stay Darren, and I'm going to stay Tectonic Traveler because that's how I started. So, nope, this is just a temporary Airbnb, man. Sharing with another couple. Right on. I'm reading while I'm talking to you guys. Oh, yeah. 89. Yep. Highway 89. Okay. So Bernie Falls. Yeah. So have you seen that in any of my videos? I have Bernie Falls photos all over. I'll send you some stuff, and I'll do another video of that. Midnight Mike. No, he's up in Alaska, I bet. I wonder if he's still alive. I'm sure he is. He's not that old. Midnight Mike, man. Yeah. So Bart, let's talk more about that. Bernie Falls in that area. That's my favorite section. Bernie Falls, down through Lassen. You got to go through Lassen. So, yeah, Midnight Mike lived out on Stampede Road. Stampede Road, if you read John Krakauer's book, Into the Wild, about the guy who died in the bus, I lived out there. And I really lived on that road. It's just a dirt road. It's paved now. It's paved a little bit, but I just lived in a dry cabin out there, which means no water, electricity. We can, in Healy and Denali, there's places to take showers, do your laundry all in one, get yourself something to eat. It's not like down here in the States. You can't do that. In Alaska, you can be rolling along. Hey, there's a place to take a shower, not a truck stop, not a dingy place, it's normal. It's just a normal thing, but that's a hard thing about living down in the States. If you're traveling, you got to, you don't find those kinds of things. Alexander Supertramp. Right on. Okay, yeah, we're all on the same page there. For sure. Right on. Yeah, great movie. So they filmed a lot of it in Denali. I lived in Denali. It's just a small village of people, not very many people. Everybody leaves in the winter except a few. But Sean Penn and all of them came up and set up camp in Denali and hired a bunch of us. I say us. I didn't work with the film crew, but Bart, my friend Bart, not this Bart, different one. A bunch of the locals quit their normal jobs, and worked for the film all summer. If you see any river shots of me rafting on the Nenana River, I was a raft guide there. So any of my big whitewater shots of that river, that's in Nenana where I lived. And they filmed it right there next to the Nenana and out in the park and then out on Stampede and then some of it in other places. But most of it was shot right there, Cantwell area. So, yeah, pretty neat. Emory Woods. Really? Wait. Wow, you grew up across. Oh, interesting. Huh. Wow. Apache, I'm glad you came. Jeff, all you guys, Bart, whoever's there that I don't see, thank you for being here. I'll shoot 13 people right on. I've been here a little while. I'm going to hang out for a little bit, but if you just got on, just trying to touch base with everybody, and hopefully I know I'm not doing a perfect job on here, but the stories are coming. The bike stuff's going to get better as I get to cooler climates, and everything will come together. But if there's stuff here you want to see that I'm not doing, you can always throw it in there, emphasizing on a little more. Story time is going to get kind of interesting because there's going to be a new format that I'm doing, and I'll be doing some stuff before that format comes out, but I think you're going to like it. And I'll be doing that when I travel to actual places and camp out. And in between, I'll be doing these story times, but we'll do like premiere story times, where I'm there hanging out. I did maybe walked around and hiked the area where we're going. I got some sketchy old houses I want to go check out, and I want to bike to them. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm actually going to get, when we go up to Orcas Island. Hey, if you just got here, I'm heading up to Orcas Island, Washington. Built a house, mandala home up there, big timber home. And I'm going to be heading back up to the island, and I'm going to head up and do a story up behind the place where I'm staying. Some great mystery stories, camp out, investigation things that happen. But I'm going to refine those into something where when I end up there on Orcas Island with my friend Richie, who you're going to love, I wouldn't bring him on here if I didn't think he's a risk, but I'm going to bring him on. And his name's Richie from Alaska, and good friend of mine. You guys are going to love him. He's a character. And that's it. I don't know what to say. When people found out I was going to bring Richie on, it was getting out of control. Friends of mine. So I don't really I have my family, my daughters, I think my mom and my ex-wife are on here. She's not talking to me right now. I don't see her on here. She's Coach Trudy. And you'll see her on here, I'm sure, at some point. She's still my good buddy, my ex-wife, and she keeps me in line, I never got married again, so. She did, though. Didn't work out. So now we're good friends because of all those things. Hi, Trudy. Richie, yeah. You're going to love Richie. I wouldn't overplay him if I didn't think he was going to blow your mind. I got to be careful about him. Anyway, yeah, we'll have Richie, long-haired Richie from Alaska, who he was a drummer in many different bands, and great carpenter. We work together. We fly and meet in places and work. It's really cool. Most of the jobs he's been coming up with, and he says, all right, I'm bringing Darren, and then that's how it works. I haven't brought him on a job yet, which I'm going to do soon. So as soon as I get the right job for him. Yeah, the PC Trail run. Okay, so me and the PC Trail, I've never done it. But so on my Cascade Sierra trips, Eastern Sierra, I'm with a different group of PCT people every town. I'll stop and camp, and I'm usually camping around them, Or if I'm way up in the backcountry and I'm in those U.S. Forest Service roads, I cross the PCT all the time. Sometimes there's nobody there. Other times there'd be somebody just sitting there, waiting for a ride. It's the coolest thing. And I'm on the bike and they're hiking, and the interaction's always really neat. I even, a couple of times, I had to help one guy. So I shuttled his stuff, a couple of things. I dropped my stuff off. He needed to just get down the road a little bit. So he walked. I went down. It's hard to explain, but I helped him shuttle some stuff down. He was worked. And we hung out for the whole night. Smoked a couple and had our evening together. It was fun, man. I love PCT hikers. It's great running. Now, I don't hike with them, so it's kind of fun. I like I've said before in other videos, I love people in small doses, because I was a guide for so long. I have a big group of people with me, and I was like, I like small groups of people and, or being alone. I've got a lot of people on here that are loners, like me, and they're probably watching and not wanting to talk to us right now. That's what I do sometimes. I like to observe. I'm a people watcher. I have a bench up in Denali Park that I sit on with my other friend, Bart. And people we started sitting there in our 20s in that area, just hanging out. And then as we sit there over time, everybody else stays the same age, but we get older. And it's because the parkies, people that work at parks, they're usually younger crowd coming through, like in college, up there for the summer and stuff. So, yeah, That's it's been my life has been sitting at Denali National Park until a few years ago, watching the people come through. We used to sit there and go, oh, here comes the O1s or the O2s, O2 models rolling through. Weird to think I went there when I was 18 or 19 years old and started doing that stuff. It's interesting. But yeah, it's been good. One of the great things about having this channel for me, because I've spent a lot of time alone, um, and since I don't guide anymore, I get to talk to people like I'm talking to all you guys, and that's where I got used to talking to people. When I first was guiding, I had a hard time talking to groups. I just couldn't, but I had to do it. It was my job. And then I got into it. I love having part of guiding. Most of guiding is just conversation with people. And yeah, you got the safety factors. Either you're rolling down a river and controlling the boat and your load and everything, watching and reading the water, but and on the glacier, reading the glacier and having conversation, biking. But it's conversation. That's what I love about it so much. And that's what I love about this is we're a lot of us have the same interest and we're having the conversation. You're going with me to places. Hopefully sometimes I'm going with you. I emphasize today, I want people to share stories. You guys that are watching out there and not talking to me, get on here and share a story with me and I'll share it with everybody. Or with the new software that I'm learning how to use, I'll have you on a video and we'll tell your story and we'll interact and talk about it. And I want to keep them, rather than I see some people having like group chats with a bunch of people on the screen, and that'd be kind of fun too. But right now that's a little overwhelming. And I think that, just having one or two interviews and then during these live chats, if I can learn how to maybe have a few of you on live too, that'd be cool. But I'm a rookie. Yeah, I would hike a section of the PCT, Jeff. Oh, you've taken hikers to Mount Whitney from Lone Pine. Oh, right on. So you've been out here hanging around that area. You say you're in PA, right? So you've been out there, obviously, because I watch people getting shuttles all the time. Yeah, I watch people. I'll hang out with them till the shuttle comes sometimes. And that Eastern Sierra shuttle that does 395, they do little trips up those short runs for PCT hikers. But I take that Eastern Sierra shuttle often. My first time I did the whole section. I didn't do any I didn't do any rides, but now I do the rides. Okay, your daughter lives out. Right on. I love Lone Pine. I was just out there a lot. I was just having a discussion with my family, thinking about just heading up there for a couple of nights, but I don't know when we're going to do that because I'm heading up to Washington now. Right on. Well, next time you come out, if I'm out here, get in touch. Or if you think I'm out here, rendezvous out on 395 somewhere. Yeah, so a little bit of, about my format that I'm going to be doing about story time. I'm going to be doing that not with the screen behind me so much, but in the actual location. But if I'm not there, I'll have the screen behind me, talking about the location. When I was talking about the Tibetan temple, that I'm going to be talking about more, because that's got stories that, like if I was a Buddhist, there's an agreement, with Buddhists, is I probably wouldn't talk about that stuff so much. And since I'm not a Buddhist, they don't care that I talk about it. But if I was like one of the students or somebody, they'd be like, oh, you shouldn't be talking about the temple, but nobody cares. There's nothing bad. And most of it's just kind of freaky stories. And some of it is very ghostly. If you don't believe in ghosts, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I used to be a skeptic, but I just used to be a little more like, well, whatever, and then, maybe it's because I'm getting older. I had those experiences, but some of them were a while back. Maybe just now I'm able to admit that I don't know what the hell's going on. That's what I'm able to admit now. But I think before my ego got me so much, I was like, it didn't happen, you know. It was something, you know, I kind of learned to, I still have an ego, a big one. I have to have some ego to survive. Everybody does. Even women have egos. If you're a woman and you're here now, I'll bet you have a little bit of an ego. I guarantee it. I hope you don't unsubscribe to me though, because we have egos. And I have to have balance. Like, remember I was talking about on the glacier, I have to balance the load. On the bike, I have to balance the load, man. Every day is like, you know, a challenge. What I'm carrying on my back, you know, and weighting me down, you know, from the past. I got to look at the past, and then I got to move through it really gracefully, you know, and not let it bog me down. And so that's how I move, balancing the load. I've seen clean shave on here. What? I'm not sure what that means, Jeff. Does that mean I need to shave? Well, I just did. Probably need a deodorant commercial on here. In my soaked armpits. Trudy has an ego. Yeah, but Trudy knows how to balance it. Thanks, Bart. Oh, you saw that commercial on YouTube, huh? Okay. Wow. They're reading something into me. Oh, I got you. Oh, my feed's acting up here. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. Huh. Yeah, I do have Bigfoot stories. Okay. Bigfoot. Don't even get me going, man. No Bigfoot stories about other people's for me. I'm going to tell you, well, okay, wait a minute. There's my ex-girlfriend who was a carpenter, my girlfriend for quite a few years, and she's a badass rough carpenter from Alaska. She'll tell you about Bigfoot, and she told me about it, and she's hardcore enough where I remember the story like it happened to me. So I'll tell you the story. Man, and then another one that did happen to me that I actually heard. And somebody said, "Do you hear that? You hear the Bigfoot noises?" When I was in Idaho. And I said, "No, they're not." And there was like a screaming noise. And they go, "Yeah, we hear them all the time." And I was there. I heard those freaking noises. Now, Rebecca, my old girlfriend, hey, if you're here, Rebecca, tell your story. I don't think she's here, though. She doesn't do YouTube very much. She has recordings from the 70s, a cassette deck recording of those noises in Montana. And I'm going to see if I can get her. Rebecca, you just gave me a great idea. Clean Shave also did the Florida Trail. Oh, Clear Shave. Clean Shave. Sorry, I can't see that very well. You saw you saw him on my channel? Sorry, I'm a little confused. I'm trying to follow you. I apologize. So yeah, Bigfoot noises. Never saw one. Man, my Mount Shasta Military Pass Road. I got to tell you, I haven't made videos about my experiences there. No Bigfoot, no killers or weirdos, but some weird lights. And I can't video. I tried videoing what I was seeing, and it's just like not even worth it. This is a couple years ago on my iPhone, even. But the moon, the red moon, that blood moon I saw on Mount Shasta, at Mount Shasta, lit up my tent like it was so bright. I thought there was somebody with a red spotlight outside my tent. That's when I got lost. There's a video about it when I got lost stealth camping just right off the highway because I went in there at night and I was confused and disoriented. Oh, okay. Chris Miller, got you. Okay. Yeah, got you now. I get it. All right, right on. Well, I'll have to talk about my Amazon experience, which is, I have another channel, and it's weird and wacky Uncle D's psychedelic sideshow, whatever. It's just where I sit and talk. And I should tell those stories over there. I can't tell. I can tell parts of the stories, and I will. But I think I need to do a Patreon, or I need to do a different place where I can tell some of these stories, because I'd get kicked off of YouTube. My stories are so bad and so gnarly and so shitty that I don't know, like, where they would be accepted at, So, and I see people telling that kind of stuff on here, but I don't want to, go down too many dark roads. But my Columbia stories are really gnarly, and there's not just one. My Amazon story is not a scary one; it's a life-changing one, and but not everybody's ready for the stories, so I don't, I'm not trying to be exciting like that. It's actually kind of shitty. These aren't things I wished I went through, but yeah, gnarly old stories, man. Apache. I know. You ready? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try to do them, and I'll put some good thought into them, and try to not make it all jumbled and just little of this and little of that. Because that's something that, it's almost like going to therapy when I tell those stories, So, and it doesn't hurt to tell them. And my kids know the stories, and my ex-wife knows the stories. My mom. Hey, I told somebody this, one time. They said, "Oh man, those people caught me smoking pot," and I said, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, I got caught smoking weed, out there in the trees." And I said, "What are you worried about?" I go, "Once your mom catches you, nobody else matters." Boy, that changed his life. Every time I see him, he goes, "That was the best thing you ever said to me. Once your mom catches you, who the hell? Maybe the cops. And once the cops catch you, then who matters?" Anyway, so yeah, I'll tell my stories, and we'll we'll go through those. All 13 of you here, man. Right on. I thought there'd only be like a couple people here, and I would have loved that anyway, because I like chit-chatting. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And I'm getting subscribers as we're talking here, and I had a couple of slow days. I didn't care, I care about everybody, but I'm not letting the YouTube thing pull me down any too many dark roads. And so it was like, oh, no subscribers, like, all right. I was losing them. I might have lost some just now, but I was losing subscribers. And I think what happens is people find out who you really are. They go, "Oh, I thought that guy was doing this. Or I thought he was just a bike thing or story time, or, but I'm everything." So, don't leave if you want to hear lots of other stuff. You might blow your mind. And the stuff that will blow your mind is real. You can't bullshit your way into mind-blowing stuff. It just shows. I've tried it. And all the good stuff, like anything good, is just real, Anything real is good, Oh, I get it. That's funny. To the cops, "You're not my mom." Yeah, right. Mom, your mom means, hey, to me anyway, is the tops. There ain't nobody above. And if your mom's not around anymore, I bet you feel that way. But yeah, I'm blessed. I've had a really really rough go at this life, but gosh, I'm so happy to be alive. And I have a lot of opportunities and great things and stuff. 2 beautiful children. If I didn't have those children in my mom at the time of my uh, episode in Colombia, I would not be here. Wouldn't be here. So thank you. Thank you thank you, God, and the universe and everything. That's it. That's because I know it's real. See, once you know something's real, and believe me, there's plenty of times I was going to throw in that towel and say, there's nothing there for me. There's no one's going to help me, and I've been to that point. And then now I know what there is. So if you're out there ever feeling like that, hang in there. The 11th hour, even the 12th hour, even after it. So yeah, Bart, exactly. And that's me. I appreciate the people that are following me. I'm kind of maybe this. Hopefully, this makes sense. And this might not be the way to go about it, but I'm letting the subscribers that are unsubscribing, obviously, it's a choice. I'm letting that all happen without trying to chase this flow of, oh, maybe they wanted this. Maybe I better do more of that or something. Um, the story time thing wasn't planned. I went that way because I like doing it. Like I saw somebody going, I saw people liking it, and I like doing it. So therefore, it will be a path, a big main part of the road with all the other detours, and the main part of the road, biking and camping and hiking and camping. I'm just a camper. That's all it really is. I'm a camper. Yes, I am. Love it. Cappuccino. Oh man, you kidding me? But I'm kind of lazy because for a long time I was like, gotta have real ground coffee on my trips. If you're out of coffee, you're screwed. That's the way I. And then I started getting this. I'll have to show you sometime. It's instant coffee, but it's Italian and it's really good espresso. I try not to drink it too much, but on trips I will take it, and it is really good. And I can't even tell you the name of it right now. I love it so much. Starts with a G, Galileo or something. I'm drinking it right now because I couldn't make any coffee. It was all busy in there. Sharing a kitchen. But I miss living in Alaska because when that part where I lived alone in my little cabin, my little house, and I didn't have running water, but there was a well just right down the road. You can fill up all your jugs. I hauled my own water for 5 years. I wouldn't say that like so proud, except for everybody talks about living off the grid now. And I was living off the grid, but it wasn't a thing, Hauled my water. I didn't have power to the cabin yet. I just, I didn't need it. I had a generator, a little Honda generator. I even would watch TV movies with my little generator sometimes. People do that up there. But then as time went on, power came out Stampede Road out by, the dead bus guy. They put power out there. So now everybody's got power. The funny thing is we were all set for power. Like some people, wired in. Everything was wired for power, stubbed in. Some people had everything stubbed in for power. If you're here, Jeff, you get that. And when it came through, the grid came through. They call it, yeah, we're on the grid. This is 25 years ago. And it was like, all of a sudden, everybody lit up on the whole, like, not the whole thing like that, but like you could just see that night, all the houses lit up in the valley out there. It was really bitching. And I thought, man, this is cool. I watching TV and firing. I got a refrigerator going. And, oh, man. Water. I got back to California after my first winter of no water. And I went in and I turned on the faucet. And water just squirted out of that water. People just think it comes out of the wall. For so many years, I just figured, I knew it was in a pipe coming through the wall. And then all this shit was going out the other side and everything. But I never paid attention to it that much. Like people here where I am, if you ask anybody, where the water comes from, most of them don't know. Most people don't know where the water comes from. That blows my mind. I'm like, you don't know where your water comes from and you drink it? Like here, it's coming from the Eastern Sierra off the Owens Valley, and we steal it all. That's why there's no grasslands and cattle up in there as much anymore, because it's all dried up desert, because everybody down here just sucked it all out. So place is hammered, and that's what happens. And so in Alaska, I had plenty of I still have unlimited water, glaciers everywhere. There's never going to be a water shortage. You can global warming all you want, but we're never going to have a shortage of water in Alaska. We're all going to be dead before The planet's tilting. Everybody knows that, right? So my former father-in-law was a glaciologist, geologist, geoscientist, Chico State University. And he told me about the tilting of the planet 35 years ago. I knew him in high school. He said, yeah, the planet tilts it. We get this tilting. Every 12,000 years, we go into an interglacial time, warming. We always have. And now we're in that 12,000 year period, and we're tilting and getting more earthquakes, hotter down here and over here. Yeah, humans are part of it and a catalyst to it, right? But, what CNN and everybody did to us in the last few years and the last administration, I'm not part of any administration, making everybody think they were boiling the ocean because they were eating cattle. Yeah, you're going to unsubscribe from me probably over that one, because I knew more about that years ago and what happens when the planet tilts, because I learned from science. And if you listen to real science and real scientists, they hate it. They hate the fact that people are talking about global warming like Al Gore, John Kerry, people like that with no knowledge of what's going on. Yes, we're a catalyst to global warming. Yes, humans have to do. Yes, we're polluting the planet. But the planet's going to shit on us before we do anything to it permanently. And that's what the tilting of the planet's doing right now. It's tilting and everybody's getting kind of funky and everybody feels different. And, it's real. Anyway, I look at the real side of things. And if I don't know, the one thing I will say is I really don't know. But I do know when people are trying to blow smoke up my ass. And so since I knew my former father-in-law so well, and he was such a damn good scientist, and his crew of scientists all over the world in the last few years pulled together to say, hey, no more bullshit from political points of view. No more. Real science says planet's tilting. That's what's going on. And yeah, we probably ought to take care of our planet better. Yeah, the Owens Valley. Thanks for listening to that little rant and rave. Yes, I have lots of scientific work in a box right here. Well, not right there. Yeah, I was so fortunate. My father-in-law, I call him my father-in-law. He's my last father-in-law I ever had. Probably be the only one I ever had. And he left me boxes, a couple of boxes. Actually, my daughters brought it to me. They did the second survey of the High Sierra. He and his crew. The High Sierra. And he made a map. I have it right in there. It's not published yet. I'm going to republish it. It's called The Lakes and Streams of the High Sierra. And I'm right in the middle of republishing that map. But I'm busy, and it's really important. All of his work, I'm trying to keep his work alive, and I've got my stuff, and it just comes together so well that eventually I'll be on the Eastern Sierra somewhere, and I will have that stuff on display somewhere. And even if it's just a little white building somewhere on the Eastern Sierra, come and find me, because that's where I'll be. And South America too sometimes. But I got to get this stuff out of the box. And glacier studies he wrote a book called The Glaciers of California. Look it up. James Guyton. Bill Guyton, The Glaciers of California. That's my father-in-law's book. And this is what's weird is, about my glacial past. It was never planned that way. I knew him in high school and I left. And I went to Alaska, but I didn't know he had anything to do with glaciers, really. I knew he was a geologist. And his daughter was my girlfriend in high school. And I left for almost 20 years. And I invited her up after she got divorced. And I was single. I said, I'm going to invite up my ex-girlfriend from high school to Alaska. I was a river guide at the time. It was a perfect timing, guiding trips. I was like in my prime, And she came up and we got together. It was a great summer. And then that was it. I mean, she already had 2 children. I joined her family, and kind of an instant family. And my first big challenge of my life. So, yeah. And then I re-met him, and we spent years together talking about glaciers. And I would go work on the glacier in the summer, come back to Chico, California, where he lived, and we'd sit in the living room and BS about glaciers. And he was the scholar. I was the guide, and the person out on the glacier. That's how it all. And now I've got the best of both worlds, sitting in boxes, and in here. Yeah. Thanks, Bart. I was sorting through the boxes of glacier stuff and maps. Oh, the maps I have. I'm a tectonic traveler, man. I've got every map, every topo map I could ever want of the Sierra, the Cascades. I'm in heaven. I still can't believe I have all that stuff. It's one of those things like years ago, if someone would have given this to me, I would have been really happy. Like, oh, Sierra stuff, really cool. But now I can't wait to go through it all. And James Guyton. Yeah, it should be James Guyton. Yep. You'll find it. It's in Amazon, Glaciers of California. University Press is the publishers. And it's still out there. It still sells. Yep. That'll be a book that'll be around for not, only a certain amount of people interested in that subject, but the book is still highly sought after. All right. Well, I'm going to stay a little longer, finish my coffee, and then probably head in and wrap it up and get ready for bed. I really appreciate you guys. You guys that are watching, it says there's 13 people. If you're just sitting there watching, I really appreciate you a lot. I don't know if you've liked or subscribed. If you're already a subscriber, I guess you would have to be to watch this. I don't know. Maybe not. I'm not sure how this works, but I'm learning, man. Hear the sirens? Here we are, Southern California. This goes on all the time. I'm surprised we didn't hear one earlier. It's pretty quiet right here, but you hear a lot of sirens. Like I said, I don't go out at night around here. Not because I don't know if I know it could be dangerous, but there's just a lot of meth heads or crackheads, and sorry if you have a drug addiction. I shouldn't use those terminologies, but there's a lot of drugs going on and alcoholism and people laying around, but it's weird. You don't see them in the day. I always wonder where the heck they are in the daytime. I go out at night once in a while on my bike and I'll see them. And Oakland. Yeah, East Oakland. Hopefully not. Probably not. Yeah, you know the drill. You know where. Yeah. Man, I hope you get to meet all you guys. Apache, Bart, Jeff. Really, I mean, and anyone else that comes out here. If you're out camping or if you're ever out camping out here in California, in a certain area or you're going to be, let me know. I'll come and stalk you. We can make a story about it. No, I won't do that. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that. I don't know how the algorithm handles all that stuff I say. I do say some weird and wacky stuff out here. Hey, if you haven't heard yet, I have another channel called Uncle D's Weird and Wacky Sideshow. But I'm not over there as much as I am here. But I talk about some weird stuff over there. That's the wackier side of me, as it's not wacky already. Really? Apache? Wow. Dude. Okay, I think you told me you were so you're pretty hunkered down out there. Yeah. I haven't been back east and it's been too long. My dad's back there. I need to get out there. He needs help with his house. And my mom lives here in California and my stepdad. I'm getting ready to head up to before Orcas Island. Maybe you'll see this in a video. My mom and my stepfather run a charity surf camp They don't surf anymore, but it's for a company called, or it's a nonprofit called Indo-Jacks, and they're from back east, North Carolina, but all the surfing instructors come here to California, and they go to Pismo Beach, and they do a surf camp for kids with autism. And I go and help on that sometimes. I don't do it every year, but my mom's 82 years old, and my stepdad's a little younger, and they still do this. Have been doing it for years. They organize the whole thing, and my stepfather's been the fundraiser for it. There's about I think 20 kids that come, and the parents come from all over. Pasadena, yeah, it's not too far from where I'm sitting right now. Pasadena's all right. Where I am right now is kind of close. I don't want to say exactly where I am, but it's kind of close to Palm Springs, but not Palm Springs, not Palm Desert. That's a drug area. This is actually not. This is a little small community, kind of outskirts of all those places, but it still has it's a little rough around the edges. You wouldn't know the difference between here and Mexico, really, if you went out, as far as the terrain goes, because I'm so close to Mexico. I'm an hour and 10 minutes from Mexico border, sitting here. And that's why I'm going to go down and get some dental work done. It's kind of why I'm here. I don't live anywhere right now. I guess technically I'm homeless, but I never call myself that because I always have a home. I haven't burned all my bridges where I don't have places to go and places to comfortably be with good people, and I normally don't go stay with people. I don't like to, unless I'm invited for a job or a situation. Then like Gorgas Island and things like that. Alaska, that happens a lot. Alaska's different. Yeah, Apache, dental work's never a good story, but it doesn't scare me. It's not something I'm looking forward to, but it's better than a lot of things I could be going to do at 60 years old, going in for a heart transplant or, shit. Thank God, man. Knock on some sort of wood here. I'm not superstitious, but yeah, I'll take it. If I can outlive these teeth, then I'm doing all right. I have bad teeth since I was a kid, and my mom told me it was from tetracycline that they gave me for asthma when I was a kid. And all it really did was discolor my teeth. It didn't make them fall out or anything. But I've been in some bad accidents in the last few years, and these are all here, but they're chipped, and everything. I'm looking rough, and scars all over my face, So I'll have a little cosmetic work done in Colombia too, but I don't know. I'm not looking for, it's not, I don't want to look bad, but I'm not trying to impress too many people, and not looking for a new wife or anything. So I'm just, I'll get some new teeth so maybe I can, eat a little better and feel a little better about myself. But it just matters to be alive, happy, and, here, man, I'm here. The bike saved my life. In many ways, the movement, the bike. Somebody told me the other day, movement will kill you eventually. And I go, well, yeah, everything's going to kill me. I'm going to die. And everybody keeps saying, well, yeah, that might kill you. Well, yeah, so yeah, it might kill me. But if I can gracefully do it as long as I can, there's going to be a day where I got to stop, and just hang out and be who I am. I've had that already happen. I'm not who I used to be. I'm not keeping up. Next year, I'm supposed to go climb in Alaska, climb Denali again. And not the route that everybody goes to climb, a hard one. And I'm not talking about it much just because, try not to make too many plans too far ahead of time, but it's one that I've been getting ready for. And so if I'm alive next year, and if there's something else that's not pulling me away from it, like family, my family needs me, I'm there first. But I will be back on the north side of Denali on the Wickersham Wall, and that's where I'll be. I'll be there. I'll be done by now. So I'll go up late April, early May. climbing the Harvard route on Denali. Oh dear, let's see. When you get the new, yeah, yeah, I will on the bike. Thanks, Apache. I try to keep a good attitude. Your mother had some bar. Yeah, not a picnic. Yeah, I know. Yeah, sitting in the house, Jeff, on the tube. I've done that enough. You know, let's see, not last winter, but a couple winters ago after my accident, that's what I was doing. I was sitting around eating cookies, and I got back from my accident into America, and it was like right around Christmas, cookies and all the holiday food, and oh my God, I went up to like, 160 pounds. That's a lot for me, my frame. And yeah, so I know how that goes. I love TV too. I mean, it's not that I love TV. I just like to watch things. YouTube, a little TV sometimes. I'm not so much of a minimalist that I'm just going to I'm just sitting, always reading a book. I love to read a book, and I read more now, just because I have all these old books that were given to me from my father-in-law, old Yosemite books, man, old Sierra stuff that not in print anymore. And gosh, that's what I like. I can't get that on YouTube. Yeah, the new wheels. Well, I'm working, so I don't have it yet. I don't even have a bike ordered or anything. I'm looking at priority, and then I'm also approaching a company to try to help me with a bike. If that falls through, which I think it might work, but I got some response. Everything's looking good because of my YouTube channel. That's helped. And not because of my subs, but they look at my views. Now, I don't know anything I'm learning about YouTube for the most part, but I have learned that my views are so high that it's more than my sub count should be. I'm at 800, and I have a higher view count, not than everybody, but just in a normal growing channel. So I think that's why I got response for a couple people. Actually, I know that because they said so. So the bike, if that doesn't happen with priority, then I have some other options, and then also just going to buy a bike and do a rebuild. But I got time for that, and we'll be doing that. Sorry, guys, I got to look at a little closer here at the. You like the gear talk? Good, Apache. Thank you. Okay, good, Apache. And I'm try to do better on the bike stuff. And as I get new stuff, as I get new gear and stuff, then I'll and the camera. The camera has a lot to do with that. I can't show you very well, but yeah, I'll be doing. I'm probably expecting more of myself, because of I'm comparing myself to other YouTube channels. But I do need to step it up a little bit on that so you can see the product, and I'm going to be, advertising some products. So I want to have better footage. What I'm talking to you on right now is my new computer. So, yeah, See, that's how smart I am. It's my new MacBook Pro. I keep calling it a Mac Pro book. That's what I'm using to talk to you and to film a lot of my videos. I have a GoPro and I have the phone. My phone sucks, so I don't use the phone very much. I need a new phone, and before I head out, I have to go to one of those stores and be there for 2 hours to get a new phone. That's what keeps me away from getting a new phone. I got to go in the store and talk to a customer service guy. And it takes two, and they can put all the stuff in. Come on, man. What is that? Specialized should sponsor you. Keep putting that bike in there. I know. Yeah, I've had the old road hopper in there, named by Barty. Bartomeo. Yeah. Yep. The new MacBook has been good to me. It's awesome. I've been able to upgrade a few things, and not just because I have the money, because I don't really. It's because of the channel's growing and there's some things happening. It's bringing other opportunities for me. Hey, I sold some books. Not a ton, but people are buying my books. I don't know who they are. Your family buys your books, right? And then okay, that's all. A couple of friends buy your books, and then nobody buys your book unless you really advertise, which I don't do. And because my book wasn't made to be like something to sell, really, it was for me. But then I saw it was helping people. I give the book out I take a few with me on trips and I hand them out to somebody that might need one. And I always say, hey, if you don't need this book now, you might need it down the road someday. I thought I had one in here. I always keep one in my Ortlieb bag. But yeah, I don't. I sold a few books. It's opened up opportunities for me. A couple people have, said, hey, come on out to my house and build my deck. I'm not really going to go anywhere right now and build anything unless it's a big, project or something. But yeah, I mean, it's opened up great things for me, and people have invited me places. Now I have friends I can go visit, and I always have friends I can go visit all over the place, but having more is cool. And also people that like to go out and do stuff, bike camp, and hike and stuff. That's fun. I mean, I have friends in other places, but they may not want to go do anything when I get there, So I had that Pavilion laptop too. That's what I did in my first videos. If you go on my Facebook, I have old videos I first did on the glacier and stuff I don't have the footage of. I don't have the raw footage anymore of. I have a Tectonic Bicycle Tours Facebook, but I mean, there's 100 and something people on there, but nobody ever does anything on there. So I put stuff on there all the time, but it's funny how people want to be on there. Also, Cascade Sierra Bike Tour. I have a group. It's got like 200 people on it. But it's funny how they want to be on there, but nobody interacts. So I don't know. Those channels are there if you want to go check them out, or whatever pages are there. Everything, all the energy is going into this channel. And Bart, you were over at Build to Bike, where I go build things and then bicycle to get to the job and all that kind of stuff. And that was fun. And that's kind of what I'm doing here anyway. But that channel, I think I went too many different directions with it. So people, they were confused by it. I started this as Tectonic Traveler, and that's where it went, and that's where it's going, So, hey, everybody. I'm starting to get eaten by mosquitoes out here. And while I'm here, I want to tell you, I try not to use this toxic stuff here, but I had to do it tonight, and they're still getting me. So I know it works, but I just don't lather myself up with it. Because now I'll have to go take a shower anyway, because I put that on me before I crawl in my sleeping bag. And but man, I hope you guys come back, and it means a lot that you came and sat here with me. It's really cool. I mean, it's not. I have friends, but I don't have any friends here to go sit and chat with. So this is really cool. I appreciate you guys a lot. Thanks, Apache. Thanks, Bardo, Mio, Jeff, all you guys that aren't talking to me. Thank you too. Really appreciate it a lot. Only got 7 likes there. What are you 11 people doing out there watching me? Please like and subscribe, because you have no idea where you're going to go. If you do, you're going to be thankful. That's all. I can't edit any of this, so I think that if you made it this far with me, then you're going to be really glad what's coming. Bardo, dude, I love you, man. You're caught up, man. You don't never feel like you have to super chat me. just to come and chat. But I love you, man. Thank you so much. Gosh, that's a big deal. When that first happened, I didn't even know I had those. Last week, I just got monetized for Super Chat and Apache. You guys, so every time you come on here, that's it, okay? Don't expect you got to do this. Gosh, you can tell I'm not good at this. Thank you. Yeah, that's not necessary. I love you guys. It matters though. It makes such a big difference. You know, this is all like after I have 1,000 subscribers, which is coming up, hopefully. I mean, it's been pretty fast and it slowed down a little. Then I'll be monetized fully. So when people do these super chats, this money will be waiting for me. So I appreciate you very much. That means a whole bunch. Thanks, Apache, Bardio. Man. But I don't want people to feel like, you know, you got to super chat me when you come here. I love you guys. I will. I'll put it toward my favorite coffee. All right, Apache, I'm heading in, getting eaten up here. Love you guys. Thanks for the likes. The rest of you that did it there. Got 10 now. And we'll be talking with you. I'm hoping I can see this super chat after. And I'll see who was here, everybody that was here. I definitely know you guys who are super chatting me here. It'll tell me that. You'll always have that big thing next to your name there, I guess, is the way that works. Right on. Well, I don't want to leave while you're still watching me, you guys, but I guess I'll have to go. Check out the new video I just posted if you haven't already. Now, I got to say something. I had to repost. That's almost like a repost, but I added a little stuff that I forgot. The original video, somehow they cut half of it out. It's impossible for me to do that. I don't know what happened. That encounter with the guy in the mountains, the ankle bracelet, if you watch the original video, it's only showing half the video now. And I didn't know, and all the views stopped on it. So I'm like, what's wrong with that video? I looked and it got cut in half. Did I do that on accident? I don't know. I don't think I can because I haven't cut video yet. So within YouTube. So I had to redo that whole video. But thankfully I did because new people got to see it and it's actually a little better. So anyway, I'm not going to remake every video, but I had to do that one. Okay. Thanks, Bart. Thanks, Apache. No spoilers. Good night, you guys. Okay. Gosh. I had to stay on it. There was 30 people logging in. I couldn't get off of it. I was losing my voice, literally losing my voice. I know. Sorry.
Just heat up the beans.
Okay.
And then there's the rice there, but you don't have to do anything except.
Okay. I can't believe that. That was bigger than the first night. And then all these people gave me money. Oh, there was 100 people watching, but 22 talking to me.
You're kidding.
And then look, more people sent me money, super chats. And I was like, guys, I said, you know, yeah. I've been talking on this thing. Sorry. So anyway.